Okay, great. So I want to do a quick video on how I make over $100,000 a year selling personal training and basically fitness. Um, so I'm going to go ahead into my background, my education, my experience, all of that great stuff in this video, and I want to take this kind of like as a free lecture. So just kind of hang in there. It's more of just a discussion where I'm just going to be talking. I have no pictures or slides that I'm going to try to show, so it's really just based on the information. So to tell you a little bit about myself, I got started personal training when I was in high school, my senior year of high school, and I got my first certification through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, otherwise known as NASM, and I started training literally immediately after I got my certification. I got hired at a local health club or fitness club, which I'm not going to disclose the name of for legal purposes, but I started training there, and within about 6 months I was actually a personal trainer, and I was working at the front desk, and I was making $12 an hour at the front desk and about $18 an hour while I was training people. And within about a period of 6 months, I got promoted to the director of fitness, and later was running the fitness department, basically, or the personal training department, for over 3 different facilities. And I tried to pull up some of my stips, but I couldn't really find any of my old stips, and I was making well over $1,500 a week for a good period of time. And I'm going to tell you how I transitioned that, which was close to $60,000 or $70,000 a year, and how I transitioned that into making over $100,000 a year. And I can tell you right now that you're not going to be doing that just personal training or working at a health club. You've got to kind of get creative with this. And so what I'm going to say is that, first of all, focus on your education. The best certification that you could have, the better. And so really invest in yourself in that, because you'll see you're really going to learn a lot, and that's going to broaden your perspective on not only how to train people, but the business side of it too, on how you could really develop your own business to where you can actually potentially be making over $100,000 a year. When you're working at a health club, which I would say I would push you, if you're a beginner, not to try to go out on your own, but go to a successful health club or gym that's in your area that you see is doing really well, and try to go and learn from that facility, because you're really going to learn a lot. And I would say I would not be in the position that I am right now had I not gone to the gym, the first gym job that I actually ever had, and got that position. So once I got that experience, like I said, I got my first certification. I have a bachelor's degree in real estate and finance, so I'm fortunate enough to be able to follow my passion and pursue my passion, because I started at a relatively young age. So before I had even graduated college, I was actually making over $100,000 a year, working about 30 hours a week, which I was able to do. And then I was also able to get a double bachelor's degree in business administration. So it's definitely possible. You really have to apply yourself and think strategically, because like I said, it's about being creative. You're not going to make over $100,000 a year from just working at a health club. However, that's great experience. So I would encourage you to start off that way. So after I decided to leave the corporate gym, which took me about 2 years, and I was a sophomore in college at that point, I decided that I needed to, well, first of all, I was only making 20% of the packages that I was selling, and at my high point, I was making 25% of the packages that I was selling, plus my hourly pay increase. So I wasn't really retaining clients anymore. I was giving those clients away. So if you think about it, personal training is a very, very, very personal business. For all you other personal trainers out there who have experience, I'm sure you know the relationship that you start to build with clients. So as I started to progress up that corporate ladder, they expected me to get rid of those clients and basically just sell new people on personal training. I don't believe in personal training in that sense, meaning I don't want to say that it's rare that you get a great trainer who's very passionate about what they're doing, but it's pretty rare. I would say that I want to sell myself because I know I'm passionate about what I'm doing. The other 30 people that I worked with, are they as passionate as me? Absolutely not. So, like I said, I was selling myself to these people. Sorry that I'm screaming. I'm almost getting like a little bit ramped up about when I think about what my mentality was when I was working there. And what I started to realize is that I was only getting paid 20% of what I was selling. I should be getting 80 to actually 100% of what I'm selling, but let's say 80%. I was making that gym a shitload of money. Aside from what I was bringing in, I was also training and developing the staff, and I was also talent acquisition. I was acquiring the new talent. And so what I realized was that I was the valuable asset to the company. I was the one that the clients really wanted. And not only that, the clients weren't getting me. I wasn't getting paid what I wanted to, or what I thought I could potentially be making easily doing it on my own or doing something a little bit more creative. And so I left the gym. I was really worried that I needed a storefront to continue basically being successful and in my advertising and other things, and there was no way that I was going to be able to afford a last month's deposit security and triple net lease up on retail space. So I really thought realistically in that sense, and I knew that I was not going to be able to afford a storefront. So a lot of people had told me, I don't really think that you're going to be able to be successful without a storefront. And I got really worried because at that point I was already made the decision that I was going to make that transition, and I set myself on that path. And so that was one of the best things that I ever did. Was I got discouraged a little bit, but I pursued what I believed in my heart would really work, and those other people that were discouraging me didn't know what I know, meaning they weren't going to the gym literally. I mean, not only was I working there 30 hours a week, but I was also working out there another 10, 20 hours a week easily because I have a problem with working out. And so what I realized was they didn't know what I know. So how did I do without a storefront? And so I could tell you at first it was actually really easy, because when I left that corporate gym, I didn't tell any of those clients what I was going to be doing, meaning I didn't try to sell them on leaving the company. I actually basically gave up all my clients. I told them that me and the company were parting and that I was going to be doing my own venture. And they all had my numbers. I told them that I really couldn't disclose anything because I wasn't going to compete, because I signed most of you will know that you will probably sign a no-compete agreement with that facility. And so I knew that I couldn't try and steal those clients. I had informed them about my decision, and I let them make their own decision. Many of them actually had to finish out their contracts and then later did not renew and decided to come back with me. And so I was adding a lot more value to these people. At least I can feel that I was adding tremendous value to these people's lives. And by doing that on my own, I was able to make more money. The client was being charged less money. It was more convenient for them, and I would say it was a beneficial relationship for both parties, basically. I didn't have a facility at that point. I had a ton of equipment. I still have a ton of equipment actually sitting right here that I was able to utilize to do my own thing. I was bringing my equipment to the park, doing a lot of group training sessions, which was very like I was making a killing actually doing group training. And I would say that I had no overhead, I had no rent that I had to pay, no fluctuating rent. So my business was stable. I had really no cost. I purchased all of my equipment, meaning there was no equipment that was financed. And so not only that, I was making 100% of everything that I sold. The people were loving it, and I was able to give them a much more hands-on experience than what I was previously able to give them. And so and on top of that, I was able to fully pursue what I wanted, meaning I had no regional manager, no corporate office looking at what Alex is doing and saying, no, we don't like that. That's going to hurt someone. That's risque. And so I took on the liability. However, it's under my name and I could do whatever I want because it's my company. And so that was like freaking awesome. I mean, that turned my passion. I was already incredibly passionate about changing these people's lives through fitness, but like now it was like, wow, this is what it's like to actually make money. I was making $50, $60 an hour as opposed to my chump $20, $30 an hour. And I'm telling you, and like I said, I undercut what they were what these clients are paying. And so it was so much more valuable for them, and myself included. That alone, just leaving the corporate gym and going and being creative, starting my own business, and I'll just go into more detail about how I transcended that idea into something where now I'm going to be making $100,000 a year. And so I started off just word of mouth, tangible. Of course, I was still doing my prospect calling and all these other things that are going to lead to lead generation and eventually clients, because I'm able to sell fitness for sure, 100%. And so that, I'll tell you right now, you're going to be limited because, one, there's only so many hours in a week that you can work hands-on with someone. So I started to get 35 clients, and you're talking about now each client only has 1 hour a week with me, and you're talking about 35 hours a week. So I had to really start to get creative. Like I said, I was doing group training, so I was doing those individual sessions with all those clients, and then on top of that, what I was able to do was do those big group sessions where I was able to incorporate all those people at a discounted price and give them an excellent workout. I have a lot of experience doing group training and circuit training, similar things. We could, like I said, I was getting really creative with my workouts, and it was really effective. I was giving them killer workouts. The people were loving it. I was giving them individual sessions. And now I was able to, when you're doing a group session where I'm not going to say 100% of your clients are going to show up every single group session, but let's say 50% of them do, where you're going to be training 15 and on a good day, 25, 35 people. 25, 35 people at $10 an hour, $10 a session. I mean, imagine even I wouldn't do a set time. I had two big block periods at the end of the day and the beginning of the day, which you'll experience when you're a trainer. Like I said, you're limited on time. So you could only either work in the morning, or typically you'll be working in the mornings and in the evenings, and you'll have a big gap in the middle of your day. Think about going to the gym. Think about people working full-time, a 9-to-5 job. They're either coming before 9 o'clock or they're coming after 5 o'clock-ish. And that's where you're going to get a big chunk of your business. So, thinking out of the box, how are we going to fill up that middle of the day? Afternoon, 2 p.m., 3 p.m., where you're sitting on your butt, not doing anything. And so I did a lot of planning, meaning like I filled that gap with like programming and doing other things. And I realized the clients really liked the programs. They were sharing it with their friends. Their friends were doing the workouts. Then they wanted to come and be a part of the community that I was establishing. And so my business, it started to take on like its own entity, right? Like, it gives me goosebumps. Like, it's no longer people are coming to train with Alex. Like, they're coming to be a part of this community that I have established. And so now it was like, I need more people with me. Like, I need literally, like, I could afford to hire someone. And I was nervous. I was hesitant about bringing other people on board of my business at first. But in my, like, it got to the point where I was like, shoot, I need somebody else. And so I thought, well, damn, I know a ton of people looking for internships. I'm a college student. I know a ton of people looking for internships. I know a ton of people who have bachelor's degrees in exercise science and cannot find any work. I could go on for hours in this video, and so like I just want to try to be as informative and also as simple as possible. One thing that I can say is if you want to make over $100,000 a year selling fitness, you better be passionate about it. It's not like something like you've never stepped foot in the gym in your entire life and you like think that that would be a cool job, so you want to go do that. If that's the type of person that you are, I can tell you right now that you will probably not, I don't mean to discourage anyone, but you will probably not make $100,000 a year doing anything if you're not passionate about it, right? So back to me, I am so passionate about it. So it was like I said, I was so involved in my own thing that like it blew up. And I didn't even like get to the next point, which is taking it online. I was doing it hands-on. And so the next thing I started to do was I got actually a really good friend of mine to come on board and help me out with not only the groups training, so now it was like I taught him exactly how I wanted things to be done. It's my business. I paid him as an intern. Like I have a payroll, whoa, one person, but still pretty fucking crazy. I'm still in college now. I'm a senior in college. I'm about to finish my double bachelor's degree, and I don't want to say that I don't necessarily. I'm going to utilize that education to the maximum. I've learned so much with that, but now I'm really able to follow what I love doing. And so the next step, after hiring one other person, it alleviated me. I don't want to say of doing everything, but I had someone else who I knew was going to be quality, which goes back to talent acquisition, knowing what that business needs and where to find the talent and who's right for that position. And I felt I did a really great job in doing that, really good managerial experience, and that allowed me to start thinking about other ways that we're going to start making money in this. And so this is where it's going to really get creative. Now it's taking it online. I'm just taking it on YouTube, but I have Google Ads, a website, other social media, and my big key thing that I like to sell, which I haven't even started really YouTubing yet, which is actually, I mean, surprisingly already generated a little bit of business, but making custom plans and selling them online with paid advertisements that I was doing through Google Ads, AdWords, which is also a part of Google, other paid advertising, linking up with other companies who specialize in marketing. Again, don't be fearful of giving other people a little bit of power, because that'll transcend what you're doing into something bigger, like I said, even something bigger, because you'll have other people who will be passionate about your idea and will only take it that much further. I mean, you're going to be working with a ton of people, and so that, I was really scared that people were going to steal my business. Like I said, I didn't want to go to this corporate feeling of me like hiring people. Now it's no longer my business where I don't have control anymore. And what I found was, just by hiring one or two employees that I'm not like I mean, I have some managing experience as a director of sales at the other health clubs that I was working at, and I was like a great boss. I gave them some leeway. I taught them a lot. I showed them what I wanted out of the business, and they were able to contribute to that. And that they saw that was a really good idea. And what I would like to say is thank you very much. You know who you are, Lauren. And so by allowing someone else to come into the business, other people to come into the business, I'm not going to go through everyone's name right now, but that allowed me to take the online aspect and transcend it even further. I don't want to say a lot of the stuff is automated, but now I'm charging basically $150 for not only custom programming, but virtual training. And I have other sources of income, such as affiliate marketing, that I have on my site where you make a small percentage. I'm not going to go into all the details right now. Like, I thought I would be making a lot more from the affiliate side of it, and in reality, I'm making a lot more from the things that really take time and effort. And that's where I would say is you're not going to bullshit anything. You really have to do something that's legitimate, that people are going to get value from. And so I put so much time and effort into custom programming and building now a site that has a forum that my own community that I've established of 40, 50 people now at this point, where I'm starting to create the website, of 40, 50 people that, boom, are now using that site. They're utilizing that site to go on and get our the group training program. I'm doing in-person paid training combined with online training, not group training, but online custom training, and everything just like intertwined so beautifully. And I was able to put more time and effort in the website, which now I pay people to help me with the site, and it's like, it's crazy because it's really transcending into something. And so YouTube is also a great form that I see other entrepreneurs using. And so I'm trying to start with YouTube and because I'm already doing videos. I'm already doing customized training and virtual training where I'm online doing videos. And so like I'm already fulfilling that aspect, so why not take on something else that could potentially be a really good investment for the company, the entity that I've created. And so a lot of the stuff now almost runs itself. I'm almost like just like supervising, like it's kind of almost like taking on its own entity, like I keep saying. And so one of the things that I did with my site was finding my strength, which is like human performance, powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, combining these modalities. I do a lot of hypertrophy stuff for people who are pursuing aesthetics and bodybuilding, and so that's like my niche. I've kind of started to gear away towards general fitness, but really one thing that I would like to say is kind of to find your niche. A lot of people will have like stronger points. I feel like I'm starting to babble at this point, so I'm going to start to wrap the video up. But finding a niche is going to be key for like creating that community where people are going to see the benefit to joining the community, and you're going to get returning customers. Group training will fall after that, and you're going to start to see higher profit margins because you're putting less time into the thing and less money after a certain point, and you're starting to see bigger returns. And so, like I said before, creativity is key, and try to eliminate gaps in a day, and by incorporating different methodologies like online training and group training and like actual like a tangible aspect where I'm actually working with clients in person, the word has spread so much more. And like I said, because I've left the corporate gym, I'm able to make 100% of those profits, and that's how you're going to make over $100,000 a year selling training. Not by just being a personal trainer at the gym. You really got to try and pursue that passion and build up something that is going to follow you, and you're not just working for someone else building that thing up for somebody else. So I'm going to wrap the video up there. Please comment, subscribe, and like the video if you like it. If you don't like it, just go somewhere else. And please let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to try to answer the questions as best as I can. So good luck. Let me know what you think.